Okay, the first location we're going to head to is the constellation Lacerta, in a group of galaxies led by a galaxy called NGC 7265. It's a fairly easy star hop as we zoom in on Stellarium Web. And here it is. Here's NGC 7265. And a few other galaxies that I observed with telescope this night was this UGC galaxy 12007 and a couple other NGC galaxies, NGC 7263 and NGC 7264. There's some other smaller, dimmer galaxies around here that if I would have used higher magnification on the telescope, I would have picked them up. But the scene was not great. It was okay. So I used basically a medium power eyepiece for the telescope itself and a wider field eyepiece just to get these four galaxies in. And we'll bring them up here in my near view image. And here's the date. Galaxy log date is 9/19/2020. Here are the particulars of the galaxies themselves. And it's led by NGC 7265, which is right here. The largest and brightest of the galaxies. And, it's round. It showed as being round with a large core area and a little stellar nucleus. And then to the southeast is the UGC galaxy right here, which is the dimmest of the galaxies, which there's a 10 or 10.5 magnitude star on its edge that kind of interfered with viewing the galaxy. But I can make it out as having an oval shape to it, a little bright core to it. I thought this pattern of four stars with these galaxies was kind of neat, kind of like a sideways 7. And then I went up here to the other NGC galaxies. This is NGC 7263, and you can see there's a little dim star on its edge, which is like 14 or 14.5 magnitude. Don't think it's a supernova, so you know it's a field star. But the galaxy itself stood out fairly well. It's small, showed like an oval disk to it, an oval shape to it, with a nice bright core area. But the galaxy that really stood out the best that really was striking was the Edgewing galaxy, which is 7264. And here's its particulars here. Fairly decent size. It's really kind of a view or kind of reminiscent to the Great Edgewing galaxy NGC 4565, kind of a much dimmer, smaller version of it. The galaxy showed a nice little bulge to it, central bulge, a little bright core to it, and the arms extended well from northeast to southwest. Overall, I thought the view was really nice with this eyepiece. The telescope, of course, is the 22 at 4.5 Dob. The eyepiece to get this in like this was a 9mm ultra wide eyepiece with a 100 degree field of view, which gave me 278 power. And the sky conditions were good. The transparency was okay. It wasn't too bad. The seeing was a little off. So it was better off going for this eyepiece anyway with this magnification. But it really gave a nice overall view of these four galaxies. And then if we go back to Stellarium, if you go to the east, there's a nice trio of galaxies here: NGC 7273, the brightest 7274, and 7276. So we go to the near view, and here they are. Here's the particulars here. These galaxies, the brightest, of course, is being the 7274. The distance is a little farther out than 7265, but it's a group. And when I first looked at this field, first of all, it reminded me of the NGC 3607 trio in Leo, with the line up. There's three galaxies that line up really nice like this, but this is much fainter. I mean, the brightest galaxy is 12.8, and so it's a much fainter trio. But it does remind me a little bit of that trio in Leo. The top galaxy here first we'll talk about is 7273, which has actually stood out fairly well. A nice oval shape to it, nice bright stellar nucleus to it. It really stood out well. And then the 7274 is more round, obviously larger and brighter, and the nucleus was very bright. It stood out very well. Then the faintest galaxy in small was 7276, which was basically, because it was so small, it didn't stand out very well, but it was fairly easy to see, a little bright little core to it. But the overall view with the nice field stars in it, really, I thought was really nice. Again, of course, using the 9mm, which gave 278 power. So it really, this whole group here is really nice. And like I said, there's other fainter galaxies that on a better night, and I'll use higher magnification, I'll see if I can bring them out. But overall, I thought this was a really nice group of galaxies to view. And next we head into Pegasus for a really nice spiral galaxy called NGC 7448. And here it is. It's an inclined spiral galaxy, fairly easy to find, pretty easy to star up, and it's situated between two fairly bright stars. And to bring up the near view image, here it is. Of course, the galaxy log date, same date, and here's a picture of this galaxy. Fairly bright galaxy. It's not real big. Here's its distance, and here with the 22-inch f4.5 Dob, I bumped the power up with a 5mm eyepiece, which it's also one of these ultra wides, 110-degree field, which is now up over 500 power, about 501. We talked about the sky conditions previously. Like I said, they were good. Transparency was not bad. Seeing was a little off, but I thought at this point here, this galaxy, I would wait for moments of good seeing, and that's one of the things that I do want to point out. When you are observing, and it's not the best of nights, seeing-wise, you want to wait for moments of good seeing, because it does happen. It's not like it's continuous. There will be moments where the scene will steady a bit, and you'll get a nice view of whatever object you're looking at. And that's what I did here. I was a little more patient with this. In fact, I studied this galaxy more than the other galaxies for this galaxy log this night. And as you can see, it's a nice inclined spiral galaxy. It's a large core area, and here in a nice stellar nucleus. And it looks like the nucleus is slightly offset, but it's not. The galaxy extends much better to the south. Nice faint arms going down to the southern part of the galaxy. But one of the things I definitely wanted to see, and that's why I chose the higher magnification, was on its northern tip. There's some H2 regions or knots, and there's a couple of them, but the one that stood out was on its northwest tip, which is fairly easy to see with the 22 this night, and that's what you see here. You see this little knot right here. But overall, the galaxy is really a nice galaxy. And I mentioned before that I have seen this in Galaxy Log, and have used it in Galaxy Log with smaller telescopes, but I've never done it with the 22. So I definitely wanted to do this Galaxy Log with this galaxy and this telescope, and rewarded with some really nice detail. It's really a nice galaxy. But you can see it in smaller telescopes. I've seen it in a 6-inch refractor. In fact, from a darker location, you can see it probably in a 4-inch refractor, no problem. But the large telescope really brings out some nice detail. For our last galaxy, for this galaxy log, we stay in Pegasus. In fact, we go into the Great Square for a highly inclined spiral galaxy called NGC 7817. As we zoom in here on Stellarium Web, and here it is. Fairly easy to find, an easy star hop, some bright stars, field stars to help you locate the galaxy if you're not using digital sighting circles or a go-to telescope. And it's not an edge-on galaxy, it's just highly inclined. And we'll bring it up here on near view. And here it is. The same date. Here's a particulars of galaxy, fairly bright, fairly good size to it, its distance. Of course, staying with the 22. And the eyepiece, set back down to magnification. This is a 10 millimeter 70-degree eyepiece with gave me a 250 magnification. The Galaxy showed really well, and I was real pleased with the view of it. Fairly large. You can see it's highly inclined. Nice, bright, extended galaxy. A little stellar nucleus. Seemed to be a bit brighter on its northeastern side than its southwestern side. And it was interesting. There's a, you can see here, there's a faint, like elongated patch right here, and actually that's a spiral arm that's curving back away from us. So I was able to actually see that. It took a bit to see it, but I was able to see it. But I really enjoyed the view of this galaxy. I think with higher magnification, you know, get a little more internal detail, but I thought overall view with this 10 millimeter eyepiece was really nice. And it's really a really nice galaxy. Again, can be seen in smaller telescopes. I had some nice views years ago with the 8-inch refractor I used to own. It can be seen again in smaller telescopes from dark locations. But yeah, it's really one of those kind of galaxies you don't hear much about, but it's one I really recommend, highly recommend going for. I think you'll enjoy the view of this galaxy. So that's it for this this galaxy log. Clear dark skies and happy galaxy observing.